So today we're at the Preserve Golf Club. Never golfed here before. I'm taking a little trip down to Florida to see my granddad. Here I get some golf in. This course seems pretty nice. It did rain last night, so it's a little wet. I'm not sure if it's cart path only. It's not. Oh, look at that. It's a beautiful shot right down the center of the fairway. The wind pushed it right further than I thought it would. That's fine though. I have like a 25 footer for birdie. Starting out with a par. It's getting kind of windy out here. So this one we got a little dogleg right over water here. It's about 330 to the pin. I've got to look at it. We are downwind. I could try to go with driver and try to make it there, but I think the better option for me right now would be going 270, maybe 268 area right towards that bunker with 3 wood. After seeing that shot, I probably should have taken driver there. I probably could have just gone right for the green. There were people out there, so I mean, it's a good thing I didn't. But that was a really solid 3-wood. It might have gone too far. I didn't expect the wind to carry it that much. But hopefully we'll have a good look. I hope it didn't go in this roll in this bunker here on the left, or under this tree on the left. But I hit that pretty good. I saw it drop and start rolling, so a little worried, but nothing we can't handle. Completely lied there. I thought that this was going to roll out a lot more, but it actually stopped pretty quickly. It's probably because of how wet it is out here. I've been working with this new concept for wedges using 4 different variables specifically to control wedge spin, and that shot did spin quite a bit. It wasn't to an uphill slope, but it did stop pretty quickly. And so when you open the face, there's this thing called lob point when you're trying to hit a higher shot, and I was trying to let the wind kind of push it back over to the left. And so I opened the face and moved the lob point and what's called the line of compression down on the ball and hit it up, and then keep that along with what's called lateral drive more straight. Long story short, when those variables are closer together, the more vertical the spin axis, which means the ball will stop quicker because it's fighting only the vertical force of gravity, not any horizontal forces, because you're closer to vertical. So the ball is spinning like this and not off to the side. It's spinning completely. The idea is it's spinning completely vertical. But I opened the face there and I didn't counteract that with my stance, and so I just pushed it way to the right. And I thought I could maybe get lucky there too with the wind, but I did not. Shouldn't be a problem though. Looks like we got a 20-footer for birdie here, so let's make this. That was a bad 3-putt. The first read was absolutely abysmal. I just didn't have good pace. I didn't have the right line, and then that second putt was so close. But a wise man once said, "It's how we get up when we face adversity." Coach Ron. It's 347 yard par 4 here. I'm gonna take 3 wood, go up the left side. Try to be aggressive here. I saw what looked to be a ball drop out of that tree, so I think we're safe. I did, though, just hear something that sounded kind of like thunder. I think it's fine. Oh, yes, okay, we're safe. That's gonna be a fun shot. Okay, so this is obviously just a punch out. I wouldn't be stupid enough to try and do that. So we got 61 to the pin, 52 to the front edge. The wind is really starting to pick up, so in its gusts. So I'm worried about that, but we'll just keep going. I'm gonna go kind of pin hunting here. I'm trusting in my new wedge system. So. We just put it to probably 15 feet. Got to make this for par here. Two over right now. So whatever. Not worried. We're on to our first par 3 over water here. This looks pretty fun. A little bit of helping wind here. Got 160 to the pin. I try to go kind of just to the right of that in middle green. Play it safe. Got a little 9-iron there. As soon as I hit it, big puff of wind came through. I should have seen that coming. That was, a cloud came right over us when that happened. So I'm on the back side of the green, maybe on the green or the fringe. I can't really tell from here. Looks like it's going to be a putt. We just got a 2-putt here. Got to keep par. But hopefully, we got a wind shift as well. It's kind of hard when you're in these housing areas because those all act as wind barriers or wind shadows. And the way wind physics works, they'll kind of rush over, but they'll also rush around, so it's kind of hard to feel where the wind's coming from. It's turbulence. Just barely missed the green, only by a little bit here. I'm not allowed to line this up, but this is a pretty steep slope. It's going to go left to right here. Let's give it kind of a tap. Okay, I respected that hill way too much. So another bad bogey. A little 3-putt there. Darn, I keep giving these greens just a little bit too much respect. At least these are bent grass greens. Where I go to college at Clemson, they're zoysia greens, and I'm not the biggest fan of zoysia greens. I much prefer bent grass. It's what I'm used to in Cleveland. The zoysia is just so grainy that sometimes the ball will just break in ways that you just can't expect, and the bent grass is just a lot more predictable. First par 5 here. Let's see if we can make birdie and get it back. So it's a very wide open par 5. We have a bunch of wind shadows here pretty much throughout the entire hole, so I can feel free to kind of swing at this one. Aiming pretty much right down the center. This is a colorful duck. Drive, I lost it a little bit right. That's what I'm kind of scared of. I don't like hitting shots right. I like hitting draws, but it should be fine. I struck it pretty well. It's just a touch on the toe, and the face is just a little bit open. It's kind of been my miss ever since I've been changing the swing pattern up. That's what I've been working on with my coach. But the ball should totally be fine. Slight miss hit on that driver. Ended up going about 280. Pretty much the same distance my 3-wood's been going all day. That's okay though. Yeah, 240 to the pin here. Just waiting for them to clear off. I'm gonna try to go for it with my 7-wood here. Well, we can top it. That was bad. What happened there was my hips basically fired really, really quickly, and they weren't in sequence. And I'm still learning that new sequence. That's my old sequence, and it was just calling me to flip. But now I'm trying to get a little bit more, hold lag a little bit longer in my swing, and that's been happening sometimes since yesterday is when I learned this. So there is no excuse for that, but that is my excuse. 106 yards to the pin. Let's see if we can't just kind of put this real close. Make a little birdie. Get that pole again. Just let the arms kind of come through and do that. We kind of come up, come down, and impact through there. You can see it in my impact. You'll see my right elbow kind of impact my right hip, or my right pelvis muscle, or pelvis bone. And because of that, I kind of have this little flip, and that's just because the hips are firing at a suboptimal time. And I sent that pretty far. I have to chip this now. I don't like that. That last putt made me very nervous. With my putting right now, it's in a pretty bad spot. I'm having trouble with consistency and making sure the ball launches on the correct line. I've got pretty good green reading skills. I have a whole equation, a whole system set up for any stimp and whatnot. It works for me, and I've trial and error that, but the problem is my putting form isn't quite there. So if anyone's got any arm lock putting technique suggestions, let me know, because I've tried a ton of different stuff, but I can never seem to improve when it comes to my putting. So here we got a 117 yard par 3 going over water here. 117 to the pin, about 98 Sorry, 98 to the front of the green. I'm gonna be hitting the 50 here. Up, recenter, down. Same thing again, you can see it in the divot. And it's just kind of breaking out of that old muscle memory. I'm not worried at all. I got lots of time before summer tournament starts. I did not put that very close. It's probably gonna be 25 feet. I got a little like kind of weird with it. When I get these little, like the shorter shots, like 100-yard shots where it's not a full swing, I'm still figuring out how much flexion, how much rotation to put in. I just need time to figure all that out. So, 14, so that's 30, 42 feet. Gonna give this a pretty big hit here. It's uphill. These greens are kind of fuzzy, so. So close. Par though from where I was. Good par. Okay. Half shots need some work. Putting definitely needs some work, but we're doing fine. We're still 3 over. We need to make a birdie. We have 3 holes to play. So let's see if we can do something special. My last par 5 here. Need to make birdie. Taking driver. We're just gonna go right down the center, 524 yards. Let's see it. Definitely de-lofted that face, but I hit dead straight, so it'll be fine. All right, went right down the center. It was a very low shot. I opened the chest very quickly. I think I should take a little bit more time at the top and slow down just to make sure I can sequence everything, but that'll be in practice. Today I just want to play, just have fun. Got that wind helping a little bit. Sun's starting to come out, so I think we avoided a storm. Perfect. Landed right behind this divot. Got here a nice little soft sweep. Just that is what we needed. A nice birdie. Finally. Starting to show up. Alright, got a 360-yard par 4 here. Second to last hole on the 8th. We're taking driver. Fresh off that birdie, let's see if we can't make another one. That was really good. That ball looked like it ran up quite a bit too. Start on the right, it was low push draw. Again, chest is kind of opening a little bit too quickly, and it's just letting myself kind of do funky things through impacts, but that was not a bad shot. That's close. Great strike on that. We're a looks like we're gonna be like 20 yards from the pin. So pin's front center. So this should be pretty good. Let's capitalize. That was a 310-yard drive. Let's capitalize. Hit this little 30-yard chip shot. I'm gonna try this spinny shot that I've been working on. Basically, the idea is you try to get your line of compression, which is set by pretty much your feet, where your stance line is, to match up with your lateral drive, which is basically where it's similar to club path, where it's where you're applying the force. What direction are you applying the force? If you have your line of compression and your stance line and your club path closer together, that means the more vertical the spin axis. There's some other things too, like lob point, that make a difference, both horizontal and vertical, along with optimal strike point. But for the example here, it's pretty much just going to be lob point. I'm going to open the face a little bit, and I'm going to just try to match the lateral drive and the line of compression together. Oh, literally a foot short. So that was definitely a spinny shot. I matched that LOC and that LD pretty nicely, but I just didn't hit it hard enough. I did a little sweeping shot. If I had kind of put more forward lean into that, then the line of compression would have moved a little lower on the ball, so it would have launched a little lower. It would have gone a little bit farther, but that's okay. We're gonna make a putt here. We're gonna make this birdie. Can't line it up. Seeing it kind of coming around this way. The straight putt's off to the left, or sorry, to my right. Over here, your right. I'm gonna take it just like that. Into the hole, just like that. There we go, there's another birdie. Back-to-back birdies. Let's see if we can't finish it off and shoot a little nice even par here. I really like this new wedge system. I read it in the Golfing Machine, or read about it in the Golfing Machine, and it was kind of a mix. I was kind of figuring it out on my own when I started trying to play cuts off my wedge shots, and then when I kind of got to that point in the Golfing Machine, I was like, this is interesting, let me read into it. And so now I've been able to kind of get this like awesome system where I can go, it's going to spin this much and stop this much, as long as I know what the greens are doing that day. But like assuming it's a flat, I can be like, it's going to spin back, or it's going to roll out 2 feet, 3 feet, and I can kind of adjust that and just have a general idea. So the sweeping shot, right? The sweeping shot is also just kind of the neutral shot. Then you can do weight forward, weight a little bit back. That's never really good. Either weight forward or kind of a sweeping shot to get more rollout, less rollout, and kind of change these 4 variables around to basically be really, really creative around the greens. All right, final hole here. We got 352 yard par 4. Looks like a dog leg is left from here. The screen says it's pretty straight, but I don't see the pin. That big tree out there is at the big tree on the right, kind of just to the left of where that cart is at 300, it's a 315. So I don't think I'm gonna hit driver today. We're touchdown wind. I think I'm just gonna take 3-wood, knock it in the fairway, get up and down from the fairway and make birdie, finish off even. That's the plan. Lost that one just a touch. I gave that wind a little bit too much respect there, so I kind of started my line a little bit too far right. If you look at how I line up the ball, it's kind of like how I putt balls, where I take that red line and I aim where at the fairway, so I'm sure that I'm aiming the right way when I set up my tee shot, or at least my face is going to be pointed the right way. That's the idea behind that. That's kind of a new one. I've been doing that for like 2 weeks now, and I kind of like it. I did kind of murder that 3-wood, so it did go pretty far. As I got up here, this turned into more of a wind tunnel, so actually my ball got pushed a little bit to the left, which I got really lucky with. I must have hit one of these hills back here and bounced right up. I'm not a big fan of this lie, but we'll just have to make do. That's not good. I chunked that. Those balls way above my feet there. I should have choked up more and gone through that. That's not good. Alright. That was bad. What I should have done there is taken a little bit less loft. Just went a little harder at it. That was my bad. But let's see if we can't get up and down. We got 22 yards here to the pin. This lie is kind of tricky. Oh, it's on a rock. Okay. Starting it right, and then just spin it up there. Just spin it. Drop it right there. Oh, that would have been a great birdie. Right at the heart of this one. There we go. All right, guys, a little bit of a round recap on the day. I finished with a score of 37, or 1 over par. I hit 6 of 7 fairways throughout the course, and I had 4 green and regs. I made 16 putts throughout the round, so just below a 2-putt average of 1.7 putts. Finally, my average putting distance on my first putt was 17.6 feet. I had a couple putts in there that were over 20 feet, which I would say is a bad thing when it comes to my wedges, so something definitely for me to work on.